All right, today what we are going to be talking about is we are going to be talking about writing linear equations given 2 points. Yesterday or last lesson we talked about 5.2 when you were using the point slope form. Again, you're going to use this formula, okay? But this time I'm going to give you 2 points and not a slope. Okay, we'll see if you can decipher that quick now. All right, so now I'm going to write an equation of a line given 2 points on that line. Okay, so you don't have to write this one down. I just want you to watch what I do. Okay, if you look at this, it says write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line through the 2 points. Okay, slope-intercept form. That's y equals mx plus b, right? Okay, in slope-intercept form, we have a slope and we have an intercept. Okay, in the points 2 and negative 3 and 4, 1, are either one of those, well, is that a slope? No. Are they the intercept? No. Could you find the slope given those 2 points? Absolutely. Okay, so now we first start out with finding the slope. All right, so what's our slope formula? It's m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so I'm going to plug in negative 3 minus 1 all over 2 minus 1. Sorry, 2 minus 4. Okay, when we solve here, I now have negative 4 over a negative 2, and I can simplify this to a positive 2 over 1, or just a positive 2. Now, notice it's negative over negative. That's why we have a positive. At any point in time, if you get a negative over a negative, simplify it to a positive, because that is a positive slope. Okay, so now we have 2 over 1, and we have points. Okay, so what could we use? We could use what? Well, if I have a slope and I have a point, I can use point slope form. Okay, point slope form. What is point slope form? Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Get to know that formula if you haven't memorized that now. So now the question is, once we know point slope form, which point do you use? And the answer to that question is it doesn't matter. No matter which point you use, they both, if used correctly, they will come up to the same exact answer. And let me show you that. Okay, so I'm going to use this first one of y of 2 negative 3. Y minus a negative 3 is equal to 2, because that's our slope. Remember, here's our slope right here that we found out. 2 times x minus 2. All right, when I simplify this, I now have y plus 3, because minus a negative is the same thing as adding, and 2 minus 4, 2x minus 4. Bring that 3 over to the right side, okay, and now I'm going to subtract here, and now I have y is equal to 2x minus 7. Don't forget, I cannot combine that negative 3 with that 2x. I need to keep our numbers separate with our variables. All right, so my final answer on this one is going to be y equals 2x minus 7. Is that in slope-intercept form? Absolutely. Okay, let's just try the other point just to see what happens. Okay, we now have y minus y1 again is equal to m times x minus x1. I will use that formula a lot. Okay, so now when I plug this in, I now have y minus 1 is equal to m, which is my 2 again, times x minus 4. Okay, simplify this out. I have y minus 1 is equal to 2x minus 8. Add 1 to both sides, and I get y is equal to 2x minus 7. Okay, is that the same thing as we had over here? Absolutely. Notice it doesn't matter which point you come out with. If you use it correctly, again, use it correctly. And by using it correctly, you plug in your y where your y1 is, your x where your x1 is, and you distribute the numbers to both, distribute that slope to both numbers inside the parentheses, you will come up with the exact same answer. Okay? So I want you to try one. Try two. Give these two a shot. See how you do with both of them. Write it down, give it a shot. All right. So if you're not finished, make sure you pause, and I'll show or see if you came up with the correct answer. All right. Again, slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. But we do not have our slope. We do not have an intercept. So we find the slope, and we plug in our points into our wonderful point slope form. Okay, so y 10 minus a negative 2 over 3 minus 1. Our slope is going to be 12 over 2, which is 6. Slope of 6. So now the question is, how do I do that? Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. I plug in my point, I plug in my slope, and I solve. Now, does it matter which point I plug in? No. I'm going to use 310, but if that's not what you used, watch my answer. Watch my process, but see if you came out with the right answer. I'm going to look at y minus 10 is equal to 6 times x minus 3. Okay, I'm going to simplify this, make sure I distribute that 6 to both sides, or 6 to everything inside that equal sign. I'm going to bring my 10 over, and I have to add the 10 because I need to take the opposite of what's happening. So y is equal to 6x minus 8, and I'm done. Okay, so y equals 6x minus 8, and that is my answer there. Okay, I don't have to graph, I don't have to do anything else, I'm just finding the equation in slope-intercept form. If I gave you y equals 6x minus 8, what's my slope? 6. What's my intercept? Negative 8. Okay, we know exactly what each one is. Okay, next one. Again, I have my point there. I'm going to take negative 1 minus 3 over 0 minus 6. I now have a negative 4 over negative 6. I can simplify this to a positive 4 over a positive 6, which also can be simplified to 2/3. I'm going to use it in simplest form, and I'm just simplify it as far as it can go. Once that, I have a slope, I have a point. What do I use? Point slope form. And that's going to be y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Plug in my point, plug in my slope. I am going to use the slope of y minus a negative 1 is equal to 2/3 times x minus 0. Okay, simplify here. I now have y plus 1 is equal to 2/3 x. I don't need 2/3 x minus 0 anymore. Okay, I just have the 2/3 x. I don't need that minus 0 because it doesn't add anything to the equation. From here, I need to take my 1 and subtract on both sides, and my overall answer is going to be y is equal to 2/3 x plus 1. Sorry, minus 1, not plus 1. I need to subtract that 1 at the end, and my answer is 2/3 x minus 1. I need to take the opposite operation of what's happening to that 1 in the previous equation. Okay? Awesome. So now I have my slope-intercept form. Sweet. Moving on. Okay, now the question you are going to be thinking in your head is, do I actually have to draw that graph? Yes. Please draw that graph because you're going to get a problem like this in your homework. So draw that graph, and I want you to give this one a shot. Okay? Try it out. All right. There's one of two ways that you can do this. Okay? We know 2 points that it's going to go through. We know that this point is going to be 2, 4, right? We have 2, 4 on the top. We also have, when you count over, 1, 2, 3, we have 3, negative 5 on the bottom. Okay, we have those 2 points. So we could do that again. We could take our y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We can do that. and we would get 4 minus a negative 5 over 2 minus 3. So you would now get 9 over a negative 1. Okay? So when we look at this, the other way we could do it is we could simply just count between those 2 points. Remember, we're going down now, so we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We went down 9, so negative 9. Now we're going to go right. Right, a positive 1, which is going to be 1 unit. If we put that as our slope, remember, rise over run, so we'd have y's over x, which is a negative 9 over 1. So remember, we can use either way. They are the exact same number, but all I know is I can do either way, either form. Okay, so now, again, we're looking for slope-intercept form. Do we see our y-intercept here? No. Okay, so we need to figure out what that would be in slope-intercept form. I now have a slope. I now have 2 points, and I can use my point-slope form, which is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Are you sick of me saying that yet? I feel like I've been saying that a lot. I hope you have this down. I want you to study that, love it, read it before you go to bed. Okay? Just enjoy that beautiful equation. Okay? So now we have our slope, we have points. Doesn't matter which point I use. I'm going to use 2, 4. Okay, so I'm going to use y minus 4 is equal to negative 9, because 9 over negative 1 and negative 9 over 1 is the same thing as negative 9, x minus 2. Simplify and solve. Equals negative 9x plus 2. Okay, negative 9 times x, negative 9 times a negative 2. Okay, so from here, I'm going to add my 4 on both sides. I now have y is equal to negative 9x plus 13. And I am done. That's my equation right there. I am done. We have it in y equals mx plus b for slope-intercept form. Okay? One of 2 ways you can do that. Awesome. We have one. This is the last one of the day. Last one of the day. Okay, it says write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. And I want you to give this one a shot and see if you can come up with the correct answer. There is a little bit of a shortcut. And I'll explain that in just a second. All right. So now when we look at this, okay, again, we have our points. We have 4, 5, and we have 0, 3. Okay, come up with our slope. I'm just going to count this time. So I have 1, 2. I go up a positive 2. I go right 1, 2, 3, 4. Right a positive 4. Okay, so when I simplify this out, I get 1/2. You could do the exact same thing as 1/2 for if you took the 3 minus 5 over 4 minus 0. Okay, you're going to get 1/2 as well. Okay, so now we have a point, or sorry, we have one of 2 points, one of these 2 points. We have a slope of half, and you plug in and solve. Okay, into which equation? Point slope is correct. Oh man, you guys are so smart. I can just hear you through this tape or through this lesson. Okay, remember, you've been studying that all night long. You're able before you go to bed, and you plug this in now. Y minus 3 is equal to half of x minus 0. Simplify. Remember, distribute. Y minus 3 is equal to half x. What happened to that 0? Well, half times 0 is 0. Doesn't do anything to our equation. So from here, we're going to add to both sides. And I'm going to have y is equal to half x plus 3. Okay, right there. That's my answer. Now, you might be thinking, what was this shortcut that he was talking about? Man, Mr. Sheeman is crazy. Okay, I'm not crazy. Well, not today at least. Okay, so now what we look at this, we know we want to find y equals mx plus b in that form. Okay, we know we have to figure out our slope, and we figured that out right away. That's our slope of half. Okay, but we also, in our slope-intercept form, we need our slope, but we also need our y-intercept. That's what we're talking about with our intercept. In this graph line, do we have our y-intercept? Yeah, we do. It's right here. Okay, it's at 0, 3. So what's our y-intercept? What would our b be? It'd be 3. Okay, so if you see that type of a problem, okay, that's fantastic. Okay, and we can just skip this entire equation right here. We can skip that part because we have our b, we have our m, and we can plug in and solve. Y equals half x plus 3. Is that the exact same equation that we got before? You betcha. You can bet your boots on it. Okay, so if you see that and you notice it, that it's the y-intercept, and you can give a direct point to that y-intercept, 0, 3. Not if it's right in the middle of 2 points, we can't do that. Okay, but if it's right on that line and it's an easy point to graph, okay, we can write that in there. Sorry, b is not 3. Half x plus 3. All right, so we are done for the day. Here is your assignment. That went a little bit longer, but that's okay. Your assignment is 2 through 36 evens, 42 through 48 evens. Also do number 1. Okay, don't forget about that. 2 equations that you need to know, y equals mx plus b, and what's that slope-intercept. Okay, and the second one is point slope. What's point slope? You got it. It is going to be y minus y1. Not y is equal to m times x minus x1. Get to know those. Again, study them, read them before you go to bed. Learn to love them, and just enjoy this math. Awesome. Have a great day.